Alrighty, so first thing up I have here, as you can see, these are regular bases that I have drilled some holes in the back of, or dents is better than holes. Um, because what I'm doing is I am using rare earth magnets to glue into the bottom of them to hold better to whatever, like the steel sheets or cookie sheets or whatever I'm using. For instance, you can see on the bottom of this figure, that's what it looks like. It's one of the Reconquer Designs Crusader type knights. But I'm working on this is for a Indian project, Indian army that I'm going to be doing for Saga. These are probably bowmen because over here you will see I have already done with these guys, which is the Hearthguard. Heavy weapons, kind of cool looking. Oh, whoa, a little too close. So yeah, that's a 8-pack of them there. I have Franks over here to finish off my Frankish army. These are just Frankish warriors. So I need to do these other 16 that I have sitting here. I just got to prime them. I had found originally to put putty on the bottom of these because the resin figures are so light. I've added putty to make the figures stick to the trays and stuff better. But since I've gone to rare earth magnets, like on the bottom of this one, I don't have to do that as much. But it was an old habit, and I started this before I did that. Because with the resin figures fitting on the bases without having any kind of their own base, so they're flush, I may still use a little bit of milliput or green stuff to attach the figures to, just to give just a slight elevation with their feet. So whatever I put on the bottom there, their feet don't get lost in the soil or grass, unless that is an effect I'm working on. That horseman, by the way, is actually Reconquer Designs Wolf Lord that I'll be working on. Part of a Moorish warband that I'll be doing. So this is part of what I have. Now let's do some other stuff. Alright, so June 1st, I actually have a small local bolt action tournament that's going to be Tank Wars. I already have the tanks painted and everything, so I needed to add the rest of the things that are going to be for my army list. So I have a 88mm flak gun, which I have glued to the requisite size base that it comes to. Came with the kit. This is a Warlord Games. I did not put any magnets on the bottom of them because I think for my bolt action stuff, I'll be putting them in foam to take them places, and I don't anticipate traveling as much with those. But I have the SDKFZ7 transport or tow for the 88. I have crew I have to work on. You can see these are, at least I primed this with field gray already, German Vallejo field gray. So I've got those to do. I also have a motorcycle squad of like 8 figures that I reprinted because I did some before I got the new printer over a year ago, and I didn't like the way they turned out, so I'm not putting those out to show, but I want to redo those, and as well as a small Fallschirmjäger, which is German paratrooper squad that I want to work on. Once you get started, because they're uniforms and kind of the same colors, it's going to be, in my mind at least, easier to paint. I just have to keep in mind that I do have a weekend of vacation with my wife in May, so I may be the weekend just before the tournament. I may actually be like really working hard during the week to get some of this stuff done. I also resin printed from Scrofa Miniatures an Indian elephant to go with the aforementioned Indian army that I'm working on for Saga. That's that, and they have riders. There's one with spear, and there's a couple with bows, as you can see. These are the bodies that would then fit in these holes here. I did magnetize, or put some magnets on the bottom of these. That is a 60mm round, hence why it's 60. I highly recommend if you're looking for a place to get your bases. I have been ordering pretty regularly and exclusively through Phalanx Consortium They're originally on eBay, or no, sorry, Etsy, and now they actually branch out and have their own website. I believe they're in Kentucky or Tennessee. Super fast guys. I order something from them, it ships within a day. I have it within 3 or 4 days at the most, depending if it's a weekend or not. So yeah, highly recommend them. Look them up. Phalanx Sword. I'll see if I can put a link in this. Give them a shout out. Bunch of really good, nice guys. I keep a few figures around for oddball stuff. Just when you're painting a bunch of the same like figures, you could get bored and lose a little interest. So occasionally I print out or have an extra figure of something just different. And here I have a lizard man just kind of kneeling, kind of a cool base he's on too. Not doing much RPG type stuff these days, but if I do or need something for that, there's this. So I have that. I showed you the Reconquer Designs Crusader. I also, as part of the crossbowman set, the Andalusian crossbowman that came from them, they also have this kind of a leader guy. He doesn't really fit for anything that I wanted to field, but I keep him around because I may end up using him as the test palette when I finally go to paint the Moors. I'll probably base him on something really simple, just so I can go ahead and you figure out what colors I want to use and test them out on him. That's probably what he's going to be used for, because great definition, good detail on these the Reconquer stuff. So I'm very happy with them. But yeah, I'll probably end up using that as some sort of test figure. Let's see what else I got sitting here. Alright, so next up is I have Huns that I am finishing up. Just finished up 8 of these figures today. I need to do some basing. You can see that I put milliput around some of them. I was talking about the basing thing. You see like that there? Just seems kind of weird when you go to do the flocking if you don't have something that sort of smooth and evens it out, at least in my mind. So here I do that. May sort of look like the figure's on a little bit of a rise, but it's hardly noticeable versus when you see that 90-degree drop off when you do your flocking. So I have these. I got to put the milliput on them, and then I have 8 more mounted guys to finish. And then I'll probably end up putting these for sale somewhere. I'm not really interested in playing the Huns. This was something I bought. These are all Gripping Beast. Something I bought and finished during COVID. When they had some deals going on. I have not pictured. I have 8 of these same composite bow warrior mounted guys done. I have a 12-man mounted levy unit with spears done, and I have Attila the Hun as the war leader done. Those are all done, painted, and based. They're down in the basement. So once I get the milliput on these, double check what I used for basing material so I can make sure that they're all kind of at least close to being the same. I'll end up basing these, and I just cleaned and glued 8 horses to bases to start. I gotta prime them when they're dry and start painting. And then I have, there's just one of, I have like 8 different poses, 8 different poses of figures that will end up being the mounted guys that'll be on. Those are probably, in Saga terms, we'd call them Hearthguard. But that'll be that. So I have a lot to keep me busy. The Indian Army, I suppose I could show you the printed. They're not based or anything, but yeah, let me show you my long-term Indian thing. My thoughts on doing the Indian project was last year at Adepticon, so Adepticon 2023. I did really well with the Indian Army, but I had this in my head that I don't like always playing the same army, so of course I didn't play it again. But I realized one of the reasons I don't have good turnout is because I'm constantly doing an army I don't know how to play or haven't played very much. So I need to get back to, if I want to have a good turnout, which is my plan for Adepticon next year, is have a good showing. Is to build and paint and play some of the armies that I have played before, have familiarity with, and think I'll do good with. So that's why I'm doing the Indians again. So hold on, I'll pull those out and show you what I got so far. All right, so here's what I have. So over here, you will see big chariots. These are all Scrofa designs through My Mini Factory. These are the 4-horse heavy chariots. I printed with the horses. Whoops, sorry about just the arm there. Right, there's the horses. Pretty good detail on these. I very much like them. Poses could be a little more varied, but you know, driver, room for a shield on them. But all these, this little doohickey you saw me pull off of the or pour out of the chariot is actually the umbrella head for what would be the warlord. So I have, my plan is 1 unit of Hearthguard, which would be 2 heavy chariots. I have a 3rd heavy chariot because the warlord can be in one, so I'm going to kind of do that as an option for the warlord. I'm not a big fan of the Rajan elephant. I am going to have an elephant in the force, as you saw that I showed already, but that's where I'm at. Now over here, I have the light chariots. These are 2-horse chariots, same design. You can see they have spears in them. But these guys all come with archer because they run around and shoot. They're the equivalent of, I think for 1 point you get 4. My plan is to field a 1.5 points, which is 6, with the idea being they can pump out, I don't know, a ridiculous amount of shots, 12 or more shots each of their movements, and being that they're composite bows, they move and then shoot for free. The movement is not free, but the shooting part is that every time they're done with a move, they get a shoot. So that's that. I have some bases here that I still got to put some magnets on. I have, of course, already magnetized a few. If I can find them here, here we go. I have magnetized a couple. You can see here. That is the regulation 40 by 80 for a light chariot. 2 magnets I felt was probably well enough to hold it. I mean, these rare earth magnets are amazing. I mean, they hold solid. This will be for the heavy chariot, by the way. So I did 1 in each corner. I have 2 of those, and they're the 80 by 100. Which again is I don't know if those are the bare minimum. I can't remember, or slightly more than minimum. They're not as big as they can be, but